Tom knows my decisions and he respects them.
And I know you'll respect what I have.
Visit advancedplanning.ie to learn more.
Some moments just can't be beaten, except when they can. Experience it live with Champions Travel, your premium event experience.
Sell your car on Motorway, sponsors of the Premier League on TNT Sports.
This weekend on TNT Sports.
It's semi-finals time in the Adobe Women's FA Cup. Liverpool lock horns with Brighton before heavyweights Chelsea and Man City battle it out for a place at Wembley. We're in Bulgaria for the opening stages of the Giro d'Italia. Cycling's biggest stars jostle for an early lead as the peloton head towards Sofia. There's more two-wheel action as MotoGP arrives in France. Don't miss the riders tackle the famous twists and turns of Bugatti circuit in Le Mans. The Gallagher Prem run-in continues with the highly anticipated East Midlands derby between Leicester and Northampton. Bristol face Saracens and Exeter tackle West Country rivals Bath. And the Live Golf season is in full swing as stars Bryson DeChambeau and John Rahm battle on the banks of the Potomac River in Virginia. But first, it's a massive match at Anfield as Liverpool take on Chelsea.
Your weekend starts here.
Yes, it does. And at Anfield, the fans are ready. The players will be heading out shortly as Liverpool have the chance to all but seal Champions League football with a win today. For Chelsea, they're trying to avoid losing 7 games in a row for just the second time in their history and keep their hopes of Europe alive. Joe, what do you think we're going to see today?
Well, we don't know whether Chelsea are going to go over 4 or 5. Listen, Chelsea need to really have good possession of the ball at times because you've not got any, there doesn't look very much speed in the team to get them up the pitch. So, listen, ultimately, Linz, you don't know with this Chelsea team. I've seen them play at Wembley against Leeds and they were superb, and then last week really fell off a cliff, so you just don't know.
Who knows what we're going to get? Let's join our commentary team, Ali McCoist and Darren Fletcher.
Lindsay, thank you. So the fight for the Champions League next season is the main focus here at Anfield today. Liverpool are almost there. Chelsea need wins and help, but if Villa win the Europa League, there's still a chance. 3 points basically is all that matters to both teams here today. Anfield is ready, bathed in sunshine for its penultimate game of an up and down season and for the 201st game between Liverpool and Chelsea. It's a rivalry that's been played in cup finals, produced ghost goals and decided league titles. The stakes aren't that high today, but there's still enough on it. So your weekend starts here in Merseyside with Liverpool versus Chelsea on TNT Sports. So 3 changes for Liverpool, with Florian Wirtz joining Mo Salah on the injured list. He drops out along with Andy Robertson and Freddie Woodman. Keeper Georgi Mamardashvili returns after missing the last 2 games. Milos Kerkez starts along with Rio Ngumoa. Jeremy Frimpong reverts to right back. Alexander Isak is fit again and on the Liverpool bench, as is Freddie Woodman, who started the last 2 games in goal. Good afternoon, Ali McCoist.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Looking forward to it. As you can imagine, it looks as though Curtis Jones will get it right back. As you mentioned, obviously, with Kerkos at left back. Szoboszlai, who I think has been the player of the year this year, has been absolutely different class in a forward area. Gakpo will be the main forward, with the very positive Ngumoa coming in from the left-hand side.
So let's have a look at Chelsea then. They changed 5 after losing at home to Forest on Monday. The headline is a first start this season for England defender Levi Colwill. He played 45 minutes on Monday after recovering from an ACL injury. He partners Wesley Fofana, who's back as well, along with Jarell Harto and Andre Santos. Philip Jorgensen starts in goal as well. He's in for the injured Robert Sanchez. Tosin, Chalobah and Lavia drop out. Jesse Derry is injured. Reece James among the subs. Garnacho, Neto and Gittins are all still injured.
Well, what can you say? Lost the last 6 in the league, only scored 1 goal. It's certainly a different side to the one that swept aside PSG and Barcelona not so long ago. But it's marvellous news having Levi Colwill back, and I think he'll start in the middle of a back 5. They're a different team with João Pedro as their main attacking option.
Well, Liverpool have turned to Rio
The way you see an idea in your mind.
80 minutes and well, Nathan, I think we're expecting the majority of it. Chelsea, on the other hand, have looked dreadful for the last few months now and have very much slipped away, you'd argue, from at least Champions League contention, but plenty riding on this game for both sides, and ultimately I'd argue the two starting lineups would highlight that.
Oh, absolutely. That's absolutely right. Latter stage of a season as well. There's injuries, there's fatigue. That's for sure. Seeing what we've seen on paper with these teams, you're absolutely right in saying so. Liverpool, yeah, that's a bit of a gut punch last week at Old Trafford, wasn't it? It was a really poor result to take. Chelsea themselves have been way off the pace. Had a solid season in the running, but coming to the vital start of the season, they've really struggled and they've gone to a torrid position. Getting absolutely thumped by Forest last week as well. Horrible for them. Two teams that are, you know, well, Liverpool can grasp Champions League today, I do believe, mathematically, with all 3 points. Chelsea themselves in the contention. There's a lot of teams in contention for Europe this season in there, of course, but they're flirting with it as well. So two teams that should be going for goals, should be going for the points as well, so should be a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll run you through the lineups in full in a moment or so. 3 changes made by Arne Slot after the defeat to Manchester United. Mamardashvili returns in between the sticks ahead of Freddie Woodman against the side he made his Premier League debut against. There's a return to left back for Milos Kerkez ahead of Andy Robertson. And also as well, Rio Engamoa gets the nod, the former Chelsea man. The teenager ahead of Florian Wirtz, who is reportedly out with a stomach bug. Alexander Isak does return to the bench this afternoon. I'll break off because Van Dijk's giving the ball away, trying to play into midfield. Here's Cole Palmer looking to try and move forward, straight towards goal. Comfortable save in the end by Mamardashvili. As for Chelsea and Callum McFarlane, 5 changes from the defeat against Nottingham Forest last time out. Robert Sanchez out injured, replaced by Philip Jorgensen. The shift to a back 3 is Colwill, Fofana and Hato all return to the side. It's Tosin and Chalobah that drop out, along with Romeo Lavia. Andre Santos is in for him. There's also obviously an absence for young Jamie Derry, who picked up an injury in that one. He's that's all the changes. He misses out as well. Liverpool in their usual home strip of all red with a white trim. Chelsea in their usual home strip as well of all blue with a white trim. As you'd expect, it's the typical blue versus red in this one. And you'd have to say it's been a relatively slow opening 3 minutes. Liverpool seemingly lacking a fair bit of energy. Although being asked to turn it up now as Chelsea try and come forward. Gravenberch back well, though, to play the ball back to Curtis Jones. He continues at right back. Has played at right back in every game since that Derby Day victory, I should say, against Everton. I'll break off because Kerkez has found space in the middle, and Kerkez will drive forward. He's away from a couple. Was he brought down there by Caicedo? He was, and that should be the first yellow card of the afternoon. Brilliant from Milos Kerkez. Lovely ball to find him, and the Hungarian just thought, you know what, I've got a bit of space to run into here. I'm not going to stop.
Yeah, and you know what, I think he'll very much welcome that nudge from Caicedo, because he didn't get any runners in front of him. He got no help. Everyone went out to the far side, and he had to take it on himself. He took a bit of a touch to the right, and that certainly is a yellow card. But I think for Craig Pawson, the man in the middle, he's looked at the clock and thought, 4 minutes in, I'm not going to be brandishing that yellow card, which I believe is wrong.
Yep.
I think if it's a yellow card, it's a yellow card. But at the time of the game, I think that's what's led him off. But the interesting thing here, it's 35-40 yards, very central. But if there's one man you want over this, it's the Hungarian.
It certainly is. Dominic Szoboszlai stood over this. The cameras pan to Levi Colwill a couple of times. He organised the war. Big game for him this afternoon as he starts for the...
Get more done with Gemini, your everyday AI assistant. Handle work with
few months now and have very much slipped away, you'd argue, from at least Champions League contention, but plenty riding on this game for both sides. Goal! Ryan Gravenberch inside 5 minutes with an absolute screamer to give Liverpool the lead. An unbelievable finish from the Dutchman. right into the top.
That begrudgingly is having to park the bus in Baller League to get results, and fair play to the players, they're doing a great job. It's not really the way we want to play, but we're very good at it. That is not how you do it. That Chelsea playing a back five and they concede in the first 5 minutes.
He made things interesting. You've got to commend that, Peter. It's the perfect response to falling behind. Don't let your heads drop. Just get back up the pitch and level the scores again. This is cracking stuff.
Garnacho for Correa. He is just caressing the ball. Steaming on goalwards. There's a beautiful simplicity about this contest. Willing running on one side, dogged defence on the other. Well, the box was
few months now and have very much slipped away, you'd argue, from at least Champions League. Of Philip Jorgensen, as Nathan's just said, positioning seemed a little bit off. He certainly seemed slow to get off the ground. He never really got to it. It's the height, I think, is beating him more than anything from Ryan Gravenberch. But ultimately, as Nathan has just said, Liverpool will not care one bit because they have an early lead, and it's to an absolute belter from Ryan Gravenberch. And that seems to have put a little bit of a spring in the step of those in red, as McAllister's given a free kick away on halfway. Gives me a chance to run you through the lineups in full. It's Mamardashvili in goal for Liverpool. A back four of Kirkes, Van Dijk, Canate and Jones. Midfield two of McAllister and now the goal scorer Ryan Gravenberch, with Engamo at Soberstein, Frimpong supporting Cody Gakpo up top. As for Chelsea, it's Jorgensen in goal. What I thought was a back three, but now seems to have shuffled over to a back four of Gusto, Fofana, Colwill and Hatt. Few months now and a very
over each other. I don't think it was a lack of communication, maybe just two players just trying to throw themselves at the ball. They got it done in the end, but there's a very early warning after scoring the goal that they're still vulnerable at the back and Chelsea can cause a threat. Facing their 7th consecutive league defeat, Chelsea, that was some sort of record. They haven't tasted a victory since 4th of March in the league, since away at Aston Villa when they won 4-1. So they've been on an absolute torrid run, so they'll be very hungry to try and change that, but they have got off to the worst possible start.
They've been the first to concede in 8 of the last 10 games, Chelsea, which has been a problem because you give yourselves a mountain to climb when your confidence is low and you concede early. It's exactly what's happened today, although they've responded pretty well, it has to be said, the side in blue. Liverpool, though, not making it too difficult for them, easily giving the ball back there through Alexis McAllister. It's now on the left-hand side, though, with João Pedro, who's held up well by Ibrahima Konate. Back now to Moises Caicedo. You talk about the length of time it's been since they won in the league. It's really weird with Chelsea. They've had a really, I'd argue, quite a comfortable run to the FA Cup final, right? And they've picked up some key victories, as that's a attempted ball over the top for Cucurella's overhit, and it catches the slope down that end of Anfield towards the Kop end and just skips out of play for a goal kick. You talk about the sort of easy run that Chelsea had going through the FA Cup. Normally, you see teams win games comfortably against Port Vale, or beat Wrexham, or get through to an FA Cup final, and it gives them a bit of confidence. But actually, it almost seems to have done the opposite with Chelsea. It's almost been like, they've beaten Port Vale 7-0, and then they've not responded at all. I'll break off. Chelsea giving the ball away really high on the field here. Here's Frimpong, ball to the box, deflected, out of play for a corner. Hatto and Jorgensen flailing arms around, almost trying to say something, but ultimately, from a Liverpool goal kick, Chelsea got the ball back and immediately gave the ball to Frimpong inside the attacking third.
Yeah.
Few months now, and a very much efforts. I think he may have been offside. The flag actually stays down, and that's a huge opportunity. Van Dijk with 10 yards of free space inside the penalty area, the back post on the half volley, should do an awful lot better. He is onside. He's being played on by Enzo Fernandez, and he absolutely should score.
And he has to play at the whistle. Enzo Fernandez, he gives up. I mean, Van Dijk, he could have taken a touch, he could have taken 3 before he put it into the bottom corner. He put a side foot through it. Maybe in the back of his head he's thinking I'm offside, or maybe he dragged Enzo to his right. Maybe just strength more than anything. Enzo just stopped. He was like, they'll blow a whistle for a foul, so we'll just carry on. You can't do that, especially. He was like, they'll blow a whistle for a foul, so we'll just carry on. You can't do that, especially at this day and age, you know. You've got to play to the whistle. You're the captain as well. He's just given Van Dijk a free rein. We're still not quite sure. We don't have the audio of the broadcast, but the fact that they're showing us just the standstill of the offside alone, where he is onside, I should say, tells me that would have stood.
Yeah, I think it would have done. That's a huge moment in this game for Liverpool and for Virgil van Dijk. Just a reminder, by the way, that there was another game that kicked off at 12:30 along with ours. It's the Championship playoff semi-final first leg between Middlesbrough and Southampton being played at the Riverside. It's currently 0-0 between those two. As things, I'll try and keep you updated as best as I can in that one. But Liverpool charging forward now with Engamoa down the left-hand side. Kirkers makes an overlapping run. Engamoa away from Gusto. Chip ball towards the back post. Gakpo, Frimpong there, headed away. Only his father is McAllister edge of the box. Feeds Jones, corner of the penalty area. Right foot to ball, and it's a good one. Gusto can't get a touch on it, and that should just squirm out of play for a throw on the near side. It does. Engamoa can't keep it in. But while Liverpool looks a little bit sort of nervous in possession there, the space opens up so quickly from just a couple of passes.
Yeah, I'm nervous for Chelsea, to be honest. Every time Liverpool come forward, they're posing a real threat, and they look like they can just get in at any point. To say they're playing 3 at the back, stroke 5, I don't even know what they are playing. What they are playing is they're not marking their men, and there's too much space in the box for Liverpool, and you just feel like they're one pass away from someone just being in on goal.
Yeah, the midfield's wide open, the back. The final third is wide open. The only positive you'd give Chelsea at the minute is
Saving money on flights is a breeze on
side is playing at the back. Corner taken short though by Liverpool. Back to Van Dijk. Into McAllister once again. Back to the Liverpool skipper. We'll play it across to Ibrahima Konate. Loads of space for him over on the right hand side. I think they are playing a back 4 here, Nathan. I think now it looks as though Kukurea has shuffled into sort of a left midfield position, but he keeps tucking in narrow, and it's allowing the space to open up. Ultimately, what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a Chelsea side who, in Callum McFarlane, have been given an idea as to how they want to play, but it clearly has not been drilled into them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think Kukurea is playing a man mark. He's trying to mark someone in the centre. That means him and Jarrell Hatto have to be on the same wavelength. Hatto's trying to play down that left flank and mark his men, but it just looks disconjointed, and it does look disorganised. But Kukurea, when they're in possession, he looks like he's left wing. When they're out of possession, he looks left central defensive midfielder. It's a very interesting system. We'll have to see how it does grow in the game, but at the minute, yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's fascinating battle so far, which 15 minutes in, Liverpool have got the better of. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. That early Ryan Gravenberch goal in front of the Anfield Road end, the difference between the two sides as things stand. If you haven't managed to find a video of it, it is an absolute peach early on in this game. As that's a decent ball forward to João Pedro, flattened by Virgil van Dijk on halfway, and a free kick given to the visitors, but away from danger from a Liverpool point of view. There's Callum McFarlane deep in conversation with one of his coaching staff on the halfway line. This will be a real test of character for the interim coach. There's no expectations of him getting the job full time in the summer. Obviously, it's his second spell as interim manager this season, but he's got to try and do something to turn around what at the minute is very much a sinking ship. And I don't know what you think, Nathan, but the body language on the touchline would not fill me with confidence if I was a Chelsea player.
No, absolutely not. And there was a shot there of João Pedro, and his body language alone as well speaks volumes. When you've got players out there of them standards, João Pedro, Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, and they're not living up to expectation, that's a big concern. That's a real big worry. And they've got some real superstars out there, Chelsea, but lost the last 6 and now maybe even 7. That is very, very worrying sign for Chelsea. And they may just drift away from European football and say they won't get that this season. With the opportunity that you can have with how wide open this season is, that's a big concern.
Yeah, financially that would be an absolute disaster for Chelsea. We know that, yes, there is a lot of buying and selling that goes on, and a lot of sort of, I don't want to say player trading, but I guess that's what it feels like at times. Ultimately, the model is based on having European football. And if they don't, it will be very, very interesting to see how the books are balanced without any form.
Believe me, does anyone
in the position to get? They're looking to try and play out the back now, though, with the ball.
You're looking at the fastest.
We have got to the point where
10 yards inside his own half, or João Pedro's having to drop into halfway to get the ball, and he's been brought down. There's no danger there, is there? You can't cause any problems with free kicks, inside your own half. So I think actually it's working out okay. Liverpool showing a bit of energy in midfield and saying, actually, we're all right bringing you down from behind. You're not getting away from us.
Yeah, it's no real threat for Liverpool at the moment. Slightly concerned early doors, but it's very early out the blocks. Like you say, Liverpool did look a little bit nervy, the Reds, early in this game, but they've definitely settled into it. Being at home will help massively for them as well. And they're in a real groove. 57% possession for Liverpool so far. They've just given the ball away through Milos Kerkez a bit cheaply, but every time Chelsea come forward, there's no real threat enough for me, and every pass they do seems to always go backwards. So I keep saying worrying, the anxiety behind Chelsea, but they're not showing enough in the opening 18 and a half. But there is a long way to go, of course.
Yeah, there absolutely is a long way to go, and as we've already mentioned, they have the players on the field who can cause problems. Here's Levi Colwill for the visitors. Ball over onto the far side for Cucurella. Back into centre midfield for Enzo Fernandez. Thought about the lofted ball over the top for João Pedro. He said we'll move it back into the centre circle for Wesley Fofana. Here's Moises Caicedo. Takes the ball on the half turn. Skips away from Szoboszlai. Then tries to feed Palmer. Passes behind him. Well read by Ngamoa. Kerkez will then return the ball back to the youngster who holds off the challenge of Gusto and from Palmer. Back to Kerkez. First time clearance. Doesn't quite make it to halfway, and it will just bounce out of play for a throw in on the near side. Good that from Chelsea putting the squeeze on the 17-year-old. It's one thing I think they can look to exploit. He really struggled coming on against Manchester United defensively, did Rio Ngamoa last weekend, and you feel he's very, very dangerous for the opposition when he has it in the attacking third. I'll break off. Great ball through from Palmer to João Pedro. Good goalkeeping. Georgi Marmadashvili quick off his line to read the scenario. Liverpool's defence parted like the Red Sea there. Just didn't know who to pick up. Van Dijk didn't stay nor go, and in the end it opened up the space for João Pedro. Marmadashvili defends it brilliantly though.
Yeah, just a bit of a criticism on Cole Palmer there. He is much better than that. There's a late one in from Cucurella there on Curtis Jones. That'll be a free kick. I think Cole Palmer has to do better. He does the outside of the foot stab. He just got away from him slightly, so he may not be able to dictate the power that he puts into the pass, but he overhits the pass for João Pedro, and I don't think he necessarily needed to. I don't think he was forced into that. He could have just cushioned that through, and it just allowed the keeper. But like you say, you give your flowers to the Georgian goalkeeper, because he came out like a flash. The big frame of his as well, down early to get the ball brave. But I think, is that another foul? There's a Liverpool player in Kirkus. I think he's gone flying into the dugout, been pushed down there. There's been 2 or 3 of them, I think, for Chelsea, and I don't think they're going to get away with many more from Craig Pawson.
Wesley Fofana's absolutely flat on Milos Kirkus there on the near side, and Chelsea weren't happy that a free kick was given, but good choice, as Kirkus does just about get back to his feet on the near side. We'll see a replay of it now. He's nowhere near the ball. Wesley Fofana is not a good challenge, and he sends Kirkus flying into the Liverpool bench. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst there to cushion the blow a little bit. It's not a good tackle, and that's another couple now, where another foul where you think, actually, there's a Chelsea player who's quite fortunate they've not picked up a yellow card.
Is that the third? And there weren't exactly little clips. You know, these guys have gone in tough. Like I say, I think that'll be the last. I don't think Craig Pawson will take much more of that. As, I mean, we're 21 minutes into it, but they do start to top up, and there's more cards in the second half. But good ball down the line for Frimpong, but the trusty feet of Levi Colwell from right to left to clear that one out for a throw in far side.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's missed an entire season
he doesn't
through injury, and he's making his first start of the campaign for Chelsea, does he? He's actually defended pretty well so far. It's just a shame those around him have struggled. Here's Ibrahima Konate, though, for the home side. Ball into midfield for Dominic Szoboszlai. Kukurea will come over to try and deal with the Hungarian. That seems to be the man-masking task, shall we say, for Kukurea so far, although he's left him now to come across over onto the far side. Liverpool trying to exploit the vacated space. Jones, though, back inside for Virgil van Dijk on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Great ball forward to Gravenberch, who's away from his man in midfield, turns it on the corner brilliantly. McAllister now feeds Engamoa one-on-one with gusto, with space in behind. Engamoa onto his right boot, away from 1, away from 2, held up well by 3 in blue, but he's still got the ball, Engamoa. Brilliant pass to find McAllister to Gakpo, one more, can they get it to Frimpong? They can't. Then the offside flag goes up. There was so much panic amongst the Chelsea back four as Engamoa had a run at them there. In the end, they just about deal with it, but the wide open space for Engamoa to pick the ball up into should be a massive worry for Callum McFarlane. In the end, they've just about got away with it, but I would argue that they've gotten away with it by hook or by crook rather than by system.
Yeah, absolutely, just flinging a leg at it. I think for Rio Engamoa, brilliant, absolutely fantastic on the ball. When he's running at people, he's dangerous, but I think just he's fallen victim slightly because he's younger. He just pulling the trigger on a pass or a shot. I think he's a bit hesitant on it. He needed to get it out of his feet and get the pass away, and he didn't. And he sort of overplayed it slightly. They almost got through, and Chelsea, like you say, don't look convincing when they're having to deal with that. And I mean, when I say deal with it, Malo Gusto is not dealing with Engamoa at the minute.
No, he certainly isn't. It's been a difficult first half so far for the Frenchman, as the camera lingers on Enzo Fernandez, who has barely been involved in this first half so far. Similarly, Cole Palmer, as Van Dijk's going to look to step forward now. We are into the second quarter of this one, though. It's been a fantastic first quarter of the game for Liverpool. For Chelsea, much to be desired. And take us through to half-time. It's going to be Nathan.
Thanks, Luke. As Liverpool just have the ball on the edge of their own box with Van Dijk. Left side, he's going to drive to the near side, outside the football, down the line. Bit of a hopeful one. It's only found Gusto on halfway. And they can just keep hold of the ball. Back they go, Levi Colwell at the back. The only one that looks really assured on the ball. He's playing on the right-hand side of the defence this afternoon. What I do believe to be more of a left-footer than a right, but he can use both, the number 6. He stood on the ball centrally in his own half at the minute, finds the Brazilian Andre Santos, and he moves it to the near side. That's a loose pass, which João Pedro won't get there as well. Hook clear, and looks like it'll go all the way out for a goal kick to Chelsea. He's been absolutely lashed from halfway, and it will be a goal kick in the end, but it's far too easy, Chelsea point of view, who have, before a ball was kicked today, conceded in their last 13 league games in a row. I mean, that's a record that goes all the way back to 1991, and now it's 14 league games now, and it only took, I mean, it was less than 5 minutes, was it? It was 4 minutes when Gravenberch hit the back of the net with that curling effort. Absolute brilliant one. Chelsea just leak goals at the minute, unfortunately. as Konate's just on the right-hand side of his own area. He's shepherding the ball against Cucurella. He may just try and get this all the way out, and he has done. Very strong from the Frenchman, who's done exceptionally well, and it will be a goal kick. Cucurella, with the efforts to get there, pulls down Konate. It just about had the love on the ball enough to roll across the byline. I was just worried there for Konate because it was rolling very slowly, but he just about got the job done. Cucurella there, just with a hand in the throat there slightly. He's known for the dark arts, a little bit of a dirty player, isn't he?
He's got to be careful there, Cucurella, but I don't think anything too untoward. Konate is clever. He knows the pitch at Anfield very, very well. He knows.
Welcome to the new generation of web creation, where
most Liverpool fans would have sat there knowing that, yeah, that is going to trickle away because that slope, it just doesn't stop. The ball just does not sit at that end of Anfield. And Konate reads the situation well, knows he's stronger than Cucurella, knows that if that ball doesn't go out, the only way that Cucurella is getting to it is by fouling him. So ultimately, well read by the Frenchman.
As Chelsea are back on the ball from Konate, not so well, slicing out of play on the far side. It's all the way to Gusto, the number 27, the Frenchman linking down the line. Here it comes down that line now as it moves from Santos. He has the overlap of Gusto down the near side. Not a lot of movement at the minute. It's a bit forced against 2-8. That's what Liverpool do have, numbers. It's always 2 against 1. Kirkes has had a foul. There wasn't all in it, but there was enough. As Kirkes hits the deck and the linesman with a great view right in front of him. And then your question is, if Gusto has the ball that deep into the Liverpool half, which hasn't been there all that often, why are you giving away a cheap free kick like that?
Yeah, it's poor. I have to say, I do feel a little bit here for Callum McFarlane. I think ultimately the way he set up his team is, I mean, he's tried something, but I don't think now's the time to be trying something. However, what I would say is it almost feels like he's having to try something because of, as you'd say, probably the injuries. I don't like making excuses of injuries, but, you know, they have not got a single winger fit. They haven't got a single senior winger fit. Neto, Garnacho, Esteval, Gittins, they're all missing. All 4 are missing through injury. So you come into this game and you go, who do we play out? Why not? Break off chance here for Chelsea.
Cucurella's going to be played in down the left-hand side. Shot comes in, good save. Mabadashvili all the way across goal. Gusto kicks it again into the box, cleared out by Van Dijk. Good positioning by the Liverpool skipper. It's a brilliant save. He hasn't had a lot to do, the number 25, the substitute keeper. But he's been brilliant there. It was a shot that came across. He had to shoot Cucurella on the left-hand side. The angle was slightly against him on the left side. It was bouncing on the half volley as well, but he drilled it low into the right-hand corner. Mabadashvili, big guy, gets down quick and well.
Yeah, he does. I think Liverpool fans will probably agree that he's gotten a lot better the more he's played, which sounds obvious, but he came into the side against Brighton when Alisson got injured initially. And looked really nervy, but as time went on, he looked more and more secure. It was gutted for him when he picked up that injury against Everton because he was having an alright game and he was looking a better goalkeeper. Back against the side he made his Premier League debut against, when he had 2 put past him, 2 of which, by the way, he could do absolutely nothing about. Particularly the Caicedo goal was an absolute screamer. But yeah, he does look a very good goalkeeper. And with talks of Alisson potentially leaving in the summer, Liverpool are umming and ahhing as to whether they bring in a new goalkeeper. I honestly don't think they need to. I don't think they need to bring in a new number 1.
And he's just put up claims there with a brilliant save. Chelsea back on the ball in that final third of Liverpool's half, just vacating out of that, about halfway inside of the Liverpool half, left flank. Ball's going to come in now, it's at the first man, and it will be out. Jeremy Frimpong, he's been fairly quiet, the former Leverkusen man so far, playing right wing this afternoon. He's back with Moises Caicedo himself, been slightly quiet centrally in the Liverpool half. You say a lot of Chelsea players have been quiet, to be frank, not seen a lot of the ball going forward. There's Andre Santos centrally. He's going to move it to the near side to Gusto. Cole Palmer moves inside. What can he do? Can he bring something out of absolutely nothing? He can do that, the best players can, but recycles it to Cucurella on the far side, who's probably the busiest Chelsea player this afternoon in the half an hour we've seen at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. Caicedo driving forward on the 180 spin, feeds it forward. It's in between 2 players. It shouldn't have been, but luckily get it back. Santos moves it to the near side. Gusto collects it. Can he get a ball into the box? Kirkes slams him in the face. Just blocking off that lane. And Gamoa, question marks over his defending, but he's done it well there. He's collected the ball off Gusto, running forward, needs to look up, runs into trouble, and gives the ball straight back to Chelsea. And they can come again.
you just don't get that forward running from Cody Gakpo playing through the midfield. Also, ultimately, the hand is forced Liverpool because Ekitike is obviously out injured, and Isak, they don't want to rush him back with his injury issues. But Engemo needs a forward run on that. He just didn't get it from Gakpo.
And Chelsea back on it with Cucurella, left flank. Chopping back on the right hand, the right foot, but had to play it backwards this time. Caicedo over the top long for Cucurella again. He's found him, chest into the box. Mamardashvili got there in the end. A chest down, just got away from him slightly. He's almost a rinse and repeat of the chance we saw moments ago. This time at his chest rather than his feet. It was a good run from the Spaniard, and he was late picked up. He was onside as well. The chest went across goal and just got away from him enough. Mamardashvili once again out lively.
Yeah, good goalkeeping from Mamardashvili. Poor from Marc Cucurella. This is why you need a left winger playing on the left-hand side. Gravenberch's got to do better at tracking that run. Got to accept that actually it's better to get behind the ball than it is under the ball, and that's exactly what happened. Chelsea have dominated possession in the last 10 minutes or so, just 11% possession for Liverpool. It's hard to tell whether it's a conscious thing, whether Liverpool have gone, you know what, we've been on top for 25 minutes I should say. Do we need to sit back? Do we need to try and conserve a little bit here? Or whether it is Chelsea taking things up a little bit? It's hard to tell, but here the Blues come again.
Down the left-hand side, Cucurella with the cross, hit Konate. He's asking for a corner. I think Craig Pawson has given it that way. Cucurella ran over to collect the ball. Konate with strong appeals, especially the Anfield stand. Let's have a look. And he had an absolute right claim. It bounced back off Cucurella, and that should be a goal kick. Interesting if this hits the back of the net. They go short with the corner. Back it goes to the far side. Cole Palmer. He's got a chance to cross now and hasn't done into the box. Santos trying to play it through. Pet peeve of mine, short corner, especially when they don't work. Sent the big lads forward, just get it in there. They're going to do it now to the back post. That's overhit, and it's going to be a goal kick. An absolute complete waste. Maybe a bit of justice and the fact it should have been a goal kick. But if we're doing fast math, you say the 11% of Liverpool's possession. That's 89% for Chelsea. They've been way on top for the last 5, but the closest they came with Cucurella, who I think is playing practically left winger at the minute.
Yeah, they are that back four, aren't they? Of Hato, Colwill, Fofana and Gusto. And it's working at the minute because they are just able to commit bodies forward, but we saw obviously in the early parts of the game it's a system which I'm not entirely sure is best suited to this Chelsea side, but you can't really criticise, can you, when things are going as well as they are at the moment. I'm intrigued to see how Liverpool go about this now, because I don't think they've got the quality for the next 15 minutes just to sit and soak up the pressure. I just don't think they can. So they're now looking, by looks things, to just hold on to the ball, but they have to be sensible. They really do.
Yeah, Liverpool look best when they have the ball, and as soon as they say sensible, Konate just overran. They got quite fortunate there. Caicedo went in. That's his second one. The first one wasn't generous either, and I think Craig Pawson really let him off with the first one. That was only a couple of minutes into the game. I think that one has to be yellow card, Luke.
I mean, it should be. The first one absolutely should have been a yellow card. I always find it really fascinating trying to lip-read footballers when they disagree with a referee, because they just come out with the most random things. Moises Caicedo shouting that I won the ball. He won a lot of things in that challenge. The ball was not one of them. It really wasn't. So I'm not entirely sure. I always wonder, do they genuinely think they did win the ball, or are they just trying to say something to the referee to disagree? Because I can tell you now, there's not a morsel of the ball that was touched there by Moises Caicedo.
Rugby league, that's a good tackle, isn't it? I mean, that's as good as it gets, really. The Sloboslai plays it backwards. It's going to Konate just behind him, right inside of his own box. Going to have to go at Mamardashvili. His footwork is going to be questioned now. See what can happen. He's going to have to. He's hooked it clear out for a throw into Chelsea on the near side. It's probably the best option if you don't feel like you're safe enough to play it out. He's just had to hack it into touch. And he's slow with a bit of a frustrating body language in that dugout. Maybe just not massively happy with what his team has shown since the goal. But Liverpool look best when they have the ball rather than up against it. That's surely a foul by Cody Gakpo. I'd be very frustrated if Craig Pawson gives a yellow card here. He hasn't against the Dutchman. And I think he's probably more consistently wrong, but he's consistent.
Yeah, I mean, that one's not a yellow card.
That isn't a yellow card.
That's one of those where the ball was static and you go in to try and win it. And I think is it Cole Palmer who wins it? He just turns his back on the man and takes the challenge from behind. So always a free kick. But Liverpool have got to be careful here. They've looked really poor throughout the season from deliveries into the box. The deliveries haven't been great from Chelsea, but they...
Turn complex information into actionable insights with Notebook LM. Upload your own sources.
Well, it's gone all the way through. I don't think he got a touch. And it's 1-1. Fofana's claiming that he didn't get the touch. He's given the credit to the Argentinian, the captain with the free kick. It's a real soft one to give away from a Liverpool point of view. It's a cross that's coming flat, curling away from goal, but it hits the stump of the inside of the post, and it's in the back of the net. It's one of them horrible ones for the keeper, because you're waiting for a touch, you don't get one. Everyone stands still in a Liverpool defensive unit. It's a really, really poor one. But Liverpool have conceded after 35 minutes. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1.
I just said, his deliveries into the box, it's time and time again. They're an absolute mess at Liverpool, and they have been all season. There's nobody offside.
On anyway.
It's some of the worst defending you're likely to see from a set piece all season. Not a single player taking responsibility. They all just look around at each other as if to say, well, what on earth has happened? They were really poor at the start of the season, Liverpool, from set pieces. They then sat the set piece coach, didn't look to bring anybody else in, and they've somehow not gotten any better. It's terrible. Credit to Chelsea, credit to Enzo Fernandez. We've just said they've got the quality on the pitch to throw in a good delivery and to cause problems. That's exactly what they've done there, and you've got to say credit where credit's due to the Argentinian. He's been poor, but when you've got the players like him, they can do something out of nothing. But from a Liverpool point of view, the last 15 minutes have been dreadful, and it's been capped off by conceding that free kick. And now here comes Chelsea on the counter-attack. Gravenberch giving the ball away. Here's Fernandez, edge of the penalty. He wants a second, held up well by Virgil van Dijk, but the attack's still there.
He's trying to force it through. Caicedo, they may just get through as well into the box. Need to be careful. Liverpool hanging a couple of legs. Pedro trying to force it. It's Cucurella dinks it into the box, going all the way through, and Gusso back on it. The tails are up now for the Blues. After the last 5 minutes of pressure, get that goal down the line to Gusso on the byline. Ball across, hit Van Dijk. It's a brilliant block by the captain once again. And it's still alive here for Chelsea. They clear the lines. Liverpool hacking it clear. It's the pendulum has definitely swung, and now Liverpool are hanging on. We talked about Liverpool having to defend, and when they do, they look shaky. Their best bets going forward, well, they've hung on in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and then they've conceded, and now the tails are up now for the away side.
It's like a heavyweight boxer getting caught by an uppercut with a minute left to go in the round. All of a sudden, the last 10 or 15 minutes for Liverpool will have felt like a decade, and they've still got quite a bit of time to go till half-time. I mean, I'm not being funny. The first 20-25 minutes, right, Chelsea were absolutely dreadful, and Liverpool, looked good. And then something just switched. Nothing tactical from Chelsea, nothing tactical from Liverpool. Something just switched, and Chelsea all of a sudden were by far the better side. And now all of a sudden, if you're Callum McFarlane, you're thinking, lads, let's get in a half-time ahead, because there's plenty of time to go get a second. And Liverpool don't look like they can keep hold of the ball at the minute.
I think it's a very, very, very important time for Chelsea from this 37.5 minutes to half-time. They need to score while they're on top. We're trying to get a glimpse of if Fofana touched it. I don't think he did. As soon as it went in, Fofana pointed at Enzo Fernandez, I think, just to give him the credit. But either way, that ball's coming in flat at the front post. I shouldn't get anywhere near the goal. It really shouldn't. And it's hit the back of the net. Well, 38 on the clock. If you were in late and listening late, it was Ryan Gravenberch with his 5th in the league this season. In the 6th minute, it's gone down as with a peach of a goal into the top right-hand corner, bending it in from the edge of the box. It was a cracker. And then minutes ago, Enzo Fernandez, the Chelsea skipper, with a cross-come shot, went all the way through into the bottom left-hand corner. And now a ball through. Chelsea might be in one-on-one. It's him again. Fernandez with the left foot. It's a great save, Mamardashvili. It shouldn't have been made, though, because it was right at him. Craig Pawson's just body Curtis Jones and blocked the counter-attack. If there's a yellow card that should have come out this afternoon, it should come out to the referee.
And Liverpool are an absolute mess at the back. Where is Ibrahima Konate there? He's 4 yards next to Virgil van Dijk and a couple of yards ahead of the rest of the back four. I mean, he just opens up the space for Enzo Fernandez, who should score, should not allow Mamardashvili the chance. Huge opportunity for Chelsea, and it absolutely should be 2-0. I mean, it's just, it's an absolute mess from the Reds at the minute, but they'll also feel aggrieved there as they were coming forward on the counter-attack. Craig Pawson, basically blocking off Curtis Jones as he came forward. I mean, we're still seeing replays go, it blatantly doesn't touch.
No.
Where's he? I'm not being funny. Right? When have you ever seen a player, after a goal's gone in, wheel off in celebration, desperate to give it to somebody else? I mean, it's obviously not his goal. We're still seeing replays, but either way, Liverpool have now played themselves into more trouble in the corner, and they've given the ball away again in the defensive third.
No, it's worrying signs for the Reds as Chelsea come forward once again. Palmer centrally in the Liverpool half, the number 10. bodies one way and the next. Good touch. Looks for the 1-2 with Caicedo and gets it. The Englishman feeds it through. Looking for Cucurella. João Pedro may have just taken it off his feet. He's desperate to get the ball, Pedro, but if anything, he's forcing it too much. They can't clear the lines again into the box. He's come outside the box now. Frimpong back there doing his right-back duties at right wing. He's cleared it off for Chelsea, man. And it's a goal kick. And for anything now, it's respite for Liverpool, who can just take a deep breath in, because they've been under the cosh for now at least 10 minutes. Because, well, it's been a worrying signs now for Liverpool. I've been banging on about the anxiety about Chelsea performance. Well, they have dug themselves out of a hole, and now they're the team on top.
Yeah, they absolutely are. It's about being sensible and doing the sensible things, and I think that's where Chelsea grew into this game. They did really well at saying, actually, do you know what? As me and Nathan have already said, Liverpool look best when they have the ball and when they have the ball in the final third. So what's the first steps to get back into the game? How do we stop the opposition doing what they want? Well, we're going to keep hold of the ball. They did that. They weren't probing. We said for a good 5 or 10 minutes, Chelsea, they've got the ball. They're not really probing here. They're not really offering anything. Okay, that's fine. Eventually, Liverpool dropped deeper and deeper, and they were able to probe. So now Liverpool are going to look at it and go like, right, okay, we're struggling here. When were we at our best in this game? When we're keeping hold of the ball. What do we do now for a 5 or 10 minute spell? Let's keep hold of the ball. But no, they keep doing the poor things in midfield. Gravenberch trying to take the ball on the half turn on the edge of his own penalty area up against Moises Caicedo, who might not be having a great time of things at the minute, but you've got to be sensible. You've got to do everything you can to keep hold of the ball. Here they come now, Liverpool through Frimpong, but again they almost give the ball away rather cheaply. Here though comes Frimpong inside the box. Good chance from Colwill. What's the linesman going to give here? He's going to give a corner over on the far side. In fact, no, he's not. He's going to give a goal kick. How has that worked then? Because Colwill just shouted at him 4 times and he's ended up giving the goal kick. Really odd one there. Let's have a look from the replay. Ultimately, however, I mean, yeah, good decision. It is a goal kick. Well played to the linesman, to Colwill, for being so adamant about it. But ultimately, it's got to be better from Liverpool. It's got to be more sensible. You give credit where credit's due to Chelsea for being better and recognising the situation. Has it been made easier for them? Yes, absolutely. And as we said earlier on, Liverpool are absolutely praying for half-time just to have 5 minutes where they're not being ran ragged.
20 minutes ago, we wouldn't have even thought about saying them words. Liverpool were all over Chelsea. Chelsea hadn't even got close to the Liverpool goal, and now it's 1-1, and Liverpool want to get into that dressing room. Kirkes just has the ball. He's doing a Cruyff turn on the edge of his own box against Cole Palmer. Didn't fake it. Went down the line. He didn't buy into that, Cole Palmer. And they've just about got away with it. And Gamoa, good feet, but needs to get rid of the ball before he loses it. And he's lost it again. I think he's just got a free kick there. There's a bit of a drag on him. And 42.5 on the clock. Liverpool and Chelsea 1. Unofficial independent off-tube studio commentary. Luke Ashurst, Nathan Mostel, taking you through around 36 in the Premier League early kickoff. And we are still level. There's 2 goals in this game for both sides. Ball over the top, looking down the line. Sol Frimpong slightly short, but he's won himself a throw-in, about 30 yards from the corner flag, far side. Frimpong's going to go back to go forward. Curtis Jones inside to McAllister. The World Cup winner drives forward. He's run into trouble far too easily. Nipped off his toes. It's going to go all the way through to Jurgensen. The Dane's just going to hammer it long. It's going to find absolutely no one. And Van Dijk, and it looks like 2 teams at the minute just happy to get into half-time at level.
Yeah, I think maybe Chelsea is sensing that their momentum has maybe sort of dwindled just that little bit. But yeah, ultimately, if you're Liverpool, you're thinking, what has happened in this game? I do think if they can get the ball down the right-hand side a little bit more often, they will have a bit more joy. We've seen Cucurella vacate a bit of space. This is exactly what I meant. Go short to then go long. Frimpong. Or Jarell Hato, good player, but he's still young, a little bit naive. You can draw him into positions he doesn't want to be in. Cucurella vacating the space. There is a chance there for Frimpong to get in behind and drive towards the byline, which is where you want him ultimately over on that right-hand side. But he has to go drop short to go long, and they haven't done that anywhere near enough, Liverpool. Ultimately, the left-hand side stopped working. Ngamoa is, since probably the 20th minute, has looked out of place, has not been able to manage the game how we'd like, and Kirkes has always been a little bit erratic on the ball, so it's not really the moment for him. So can you now get the ball moving on down on the right hand side, exploit the space that Chelsea are vacating? That is for Liverpool to try and work out. Chelsea, I think, as we've just said, more than happy now, having initially smelt blood and look to go for the jugular, and now thinking, actually, we'll get through to half-time at 1-1, and we'll come out firing in the second half.
Yeah, as Jurgensen just moves it to the far side. He had just hit it into touch for a throw-in, not his best kick. But they're back on the ball and may just think just before the break they're just going to try themselves with 20 seconds to play of the mandatory 45, see how much added time they'll be. It's a good feat from Cole Palmer actually to get away from two with a drag back. He has to release the ball and does so inside. That's a poor touch from the captain and the goal scorer. Slide comes in from Andre Santos, skipped over by Ngamo. Good feat by him. The youngster's going to dance forward. He's just coming to go backwards here, forced inside. And we're going to get 2 added minutes at the end of the first half. Kirkes goes all the way back to Mamardashvili. And they can just stand on the ball. It's a luminous green from head to toe this afternoon. The Liverpool goalkeeper feeds it forward to McAllister. And they can move it to the far side. Kanate. No real movement in front of him. Frimpong's just flirting with that far touch line, but not a lot of movement beyond just yet. Van Dijk's just going to move it to the near side. And Chelsea happy just to sit in. And I think Liverpool happy just to keep the ball at this point. With half a minute of the 2 added on gone. Inside it goes to the goal scorer Gravenberch, trying to drive forward again, but just looks slightly isolated there up against 2. Liverpool again back on the ball. Chelsea can't make it stick. Curtis Jones into Soboslai. Down the line. Oh, it's a good idea. Gerald Hatter with really good sense of awareness there. Knew what was behind him and read it well, intercepted it. Kukurea on that far side, just shy of halfway. Man goes down in Caicedo and may have just been given as a free kick. It has against Hungarian. 10 plus goals, 10 plus assists. The first time a player has done that for Liverpool since, guess who? Steven Gerrard, 2013-14. So he's having an absolute brilliant season. That's in all competitions for Soboslai this season. Absolute monumental season for him. He's been absolutely brilliant all season, but he's given away a free kick there, which Jurgensen's just going to trot out very far out of his own area and take it. Just shy of a minute to go. He's going to take his sweet time over it. And everyone just moves slowly backwards. It looks like 2 teams that have shaken hands and said, you know what, we'll just walk in level at half-time. I think 2 teams that are happy just to do so. I think you've got to think Chelsea would be much happier with the point than Liverpool being where they're playing this afternoon.
They'll be much happy with the first half as well, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Ultimately, you always feel that it's the side that ends the first half better that tends to be the happier of the two if the scores are level. And that's exactly the case. I get the feeling that Liverpool will go in at half-time and will get a bit of the hairdryer treatment from Arne Slot because of the start. They should have been in a much better position than they are now.
And Craig Borson has blown for half-time. We end the first as we started it, and that's level. It's Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1.